We're in the village of Wheelright in Hardwick. We're kind of looking towards the Ware River and the old mills here in Wheelright. We believe this little corner of the village is where their station used to be. And for the first time since Berlin, we finally see rail back in the right-of-way as it goes right over this road here. And you see they started clearing out the bike path, and it is pretty clear here. We believe this was the site of the Wheelright station, because it's kind of clear enough for more than one track. So, and again, the station was probably right over here somewhere or behind me. Not quite sure where, but
I think behind you.
Here, there's a tie right there that's been discarded. But again, for the first time since we were in Berlin, we see rails in the right-of-way, even if it is in the road at the old crossing.
You're standing like right about...
Okay, we're at the new Braintree train station on the old Central Mass. We're looking back towards Wheelright. We looked up the path from Wheelright, now we're looking down the path towards Wheelright. And right up there is the sign, East Quabbin Land Trust, Mass Central Rail Trail. And we have another monument right there. We'll get to that in a second. And here, Sky and John are right in front of the...
trolley line that went through Crearyy. I found some stuff.
Still showing more of the maps, only this one we're a little further than we were before. So... Oops. There we go. These little newsletters are about the Mass Central Rail Trail and how some of the students from Quabbin Regional High School, which covers Hardwick, were involved in the rail trail. Ooh, a little dip. Nope, that's the back.
I'm guessing this probably was...
And there's the rail trail as it goes towards Hardwick, Crearyy, and Gilbertville. And there's another bridge over on that side. So this is about a 2.5 mile stretch between here and the Gilbertville station. So you see that's saying that there's no traffic could go down this hill. That is a recreational trail. So here we are at the new Braintree station, and we can come over here and look at this little monument here. This little monument was dedicated to the new Braintree train station. See, New Braintree's railroad station. With the coming of the railroad to New Braintree as late as 1886, milk replaced cheese as the town's export to the Boston market. Erected by the youth of New Braintree, 1975. So that's very nice. So I don't know what my boys are doing over there, vandalizing the message board. But we believe the station was possibly right here where the road is now. Wasn't a very big station, but so this is New Braintree, and our next stop, Crearyy. Now before we move on to Crearyy, you can see right here on Hardwick's road here in New Braintree where the rails used to be in the road by the cracks in the pavement. And we can also see some wood here, so there are still some ties here. And as I pan back, you can kind of see the snow is covering some more ties in the roadbed. John and Skyman are going down the path to look at the bridge over the Ware River. But you see two patches of snow here horizontally are covering ties right there and right there. So there are still railroad ties in the ground here. And so there's, again, looking towards Creamery. Here we come. Okay, we're here in Hardwick in the Creamery, near the Creamery, in probably on the border between Gilbertville and Old Furnace. And we found another mile marker. This is the third one we found. Found one in South Sudbury at South Sudbury Station. Found one along the trail in West Boylston, and now here in Hardwick. As you see, we're 36 miles away from the end of our journey. So that means we are more than halfway. As you can see on the other side here, it says Boston, 68 miles. So, as we look down that way, that's looking back towards Wheelright and Old Furnace. And back this way. Hello, Skyman. Oops, back it up. Now we're looking towards the Creamery Station and Gilbertville. And so that is our destination next. Okay, we are here at the location of the Creamery Station here in Hardwick, in just outside of Gilbertville, halfway between Gilbertville and Old Furnace. And there's the right-of-way where we just were walking down and found the milepost, and that's looking back towards Wheelright. And sometime in the 1930s, the Boston and Maine decided to abandon all rail between this point and Forest Lake in Palmer, and use the Boston and Albany Ware River line, which is right there. And we see how close the two railroads were going through Hardwick in this area. So right where Sky and his bro is standing, that's where the right-of-way originally went. And the connection went right up here and connected with the Ware River line somewhere just to the left beyond this point. So I'll just go up to the crossing and see if I can get closer to the connection point. 4, 3, 2. Okay, this is the Boston and Albany's Ware River line, also known as the Wichita Branch. It is now the current Massachusetts Central, and that is confusing because of the railroad we've been following was originally called the Massachusetts Central before it reorganized into the Central Mass. Now right there is where the train station was. Not sure which line it served, but it was right there. And if I pan up just a little bit, so right around that area there is where the switch was put in sometime in the early 1930s, when the Central Mass decided, or the Boston and Maine decided, to abandon all trackage from this point in Creamery to Forest Lake in Palmer and run trackage rights here on the Ware River. So the original Central Mass did run on portions of the current Central Mass. So the next crossing is where the two railroads crossed each other on a sharp angle bridge, and we're going to go look at those abutments, known right next to what is known as Skyman's Crossing. Okay, this is the bridge abutments, what are left of them, that carried the central mass over the Boston and Albany's Ware River line, better known as the Wichita branch. Down there you can see the tracks for the current Mass Central. Confusing that the current Mass Central takes the name of the old Mass Central. But this is right in Hardwick, just outside Gilbertville, right near Skyman's Crossing. So, speaking of which, John, Sky, and over there, behind Zach, yep. Lean back a little, Zach. Thank you. There's Skyman's Crossing, there's Riverrun, on the Ware River line. So, and down there is the tracks of the old Boston Albany, now the current Central Mass. And the tracks went that way, heading towards Gilbertville. So this is the bridge that carried the Central Mass over the Boston and Albany. John and Sky. Alright, now here's a different angle of those bridge abutments right here at Riverrun Crossing. We've seen these many times before in a lot of Skyman 2002 videos when he's filmed the current Mass Central train going down these tracks. As you can see, as he usually tells you, they're at mile marker 18. 18 miles from Palmer. And there's the bridge abutments on one side and the bridge abutments on the other side. As you can see, we're here at Riverrun Crossing. Okay, our next stop is Gilbertville. Okay, we're approaching Gilbertville, and this is the approximate location of where the Mass Central crossed over Route 32 on its way into Gilbertville. And across the river there, over in New Braintree, you can just make out the current Mass Central track over there on the edge of the river. So we are approaching Gilbertville, and this is the first Route 32 crossing. We've made it to Gilbertville, the little village in the town of Hardwick. And here you see the Gilbertville train station for the old Central Mass and the old signal that they left on the building. This is now a pizza place. And the tracks went off towards Ware that way, and there's also a bunch of spur tracks into the mill buildings that were once very active wool buildings here in Gilbertville in the town of Hardwick. So there's your Gilbertville station. And the Boston and Albany's Ware River branch is right across the river, right there at that crossing. And their Gilbertville station is about a quarter mile down the road. And over here we see covered in snow right over there, the right-of-way where the track came in. Well, someone's got a dumpster right next to the right-of-way. And the track would have come right here. So this is Gilbertville Station in Hardwick, Mass. And now we're moving on to our next destination. Now we're on the other side of Gilbertville Station. And as you can see, it's now a pizza sub shop, but it closes during the winter time, so it's not open right now. Of course, this is our first film of 2015. All the other films you've seen before this were shot in 2014. it's been taking us a while to go from Cambridge to Northampton. So we've been filming it in pieces. We started in October, and now this is January of 2015. But there is the old signal up there on the roof of the pizza sub shop that's now occupying the old Central Mass Gilbertville station, and that's where we were earlier. See John down there getting set up. That's where the right-of-way came in. The tracks came in right alongside these telephone poles, and there's the Gilbertville post office. That's where the tracks went afterwards. They're going in there and they're taking a slight curve, if you can see. They go in and they curve off to the left, and they give off a bunch of spur lines into these old mills here. Of course, the spur lines are long gone, but these are the Gilbertville mills. The Gilbert, named after the man who founded the mills, the Gilbert Manufacturing Company. So the tracks, the tracks go there. They curve over. They cross into the town of Ware on the other side of the that mill. Then the Hardwick Ware town line goes into the Ware River, and then it stays in the Ware River until the Ware River enters Ware completely. So on the other side of these mills, we will go to film the old covered bridge that crosses over the Ware River from Gilbertville Village into the town of Ware. So, signing off from Gilbertville. We are here at the covered bridge that the Central Mass built. Bridge Street in the town of Hardwick, the village of Gilbertville. So over there is Gilbertville in the town of Hardwick, Worcester County, and of course the Ware River here is the boundary between Hardwick and Ware. So we're on the Ware side. We're in Hampshire County, and the town and county line continue to go straight even though the river curves there. And here's the old right-of-way coming from the Gilbertville station behind the mills where we were. My car's on the right-of-way. And then it crossed this road right here and went down the gorge there and continued to follow the river. Of course, the abutment, and it looks like it's been corroded away, with time. So, and of course this road just curves off and goes to Ware. And if we look across the way there, that cement piling right there, that was where the spur track for the coal, or one of the two spur tracks went. The train just came right up along that and delivered the coal to the mills right over there. And there was a second spur track that ran parallel to it on the other side. And that's how the Mass Central serviced these mills over in Gilbertville. These mills were also served by the Boston and Albany's Ware River branch, or Wichenden branch, whatever you want to call it. So we'll get a closer look at that bridge when we go back into Gilbertville. Okay, I'm behind the Gilbert mills. These weren't the only mills that were in Gilbertville. They were on the other side of the river, but over there you see the right-of-way. And a lot of spur tracks came off around here and served this building. And there's another spur track would have come across here and crossed over the river and delivered coal to the other mills. And we'll go see that at the covered bridge. But right there at that curve in the road is where the right-of-way came out and went down that roadway right there. And that right there is the Hardwick Ware town line, which is also the Worcester Hampshire County line. I think it's Hampshire County. Palmer's in Hamden, Ware is in Hampshire, and so is Belchertown in Hampshire County, but Hardwick's in Worcester County. So we're in Worcester County, and we're looking into Hampshire County and the town of Ware. And the town line comes off the river, crosses right there, and then curves over that hill. Because the Hardwick town line takes kind of a strange dip around to keep the village of Gilbertville completely within the town of Hardwick, so that it doesn't cross into the town of Ware, because it's also in a different county. I know in some states that's okay, but John's yelling out to me that he's found something, and so I'm going to end this segment, and we'll go look at the covered bridge. This is the concrete bridge that carried one of the spur tracks into the mill building, and there's pictures in the Central Mass Book of trains on this bridge, and this is where the track would have come and crossed. The spur track would have come, crossed over Bridge Street, and would have went that way, connected to the other spur track, and then went over the river. And the other spur track would have crossed right there on the other side of this house, and would have went in to the mill over there. And up there you can see the Ware River line where it still crosses today, as you see this crossing protection. We just saw a train go over that crossing not too long ago, about a half hour ago. You'll see that in a separate video. You'll probably see it before you see this video. But yeah, these are where the spur lines for the other mills over there, as you see the smokestack for the mill. You know, and there's the river, and we're back on the other side. We're back in Hardwick now. We're back in Gilbertville. We're back in Worcester County, and a lot of nice things to see here. Sad, but nice that it's still here in some kind of form. But hopefully the preservationists can do something about cleaning it up. But for now, this is what it looks like. And one last thing we're going to do here in Gilbertville is look at this nice covered bridge. You see these more up in New Hampshire than you do here in Massachusetts, at least in this part of Massachusetts. So as you can see, the date up there on the sign says 1886. But 120 years later, in 2006, they redid this bridge over. They redid it over very nicely. Now cars can go over the bridge again. They only limited it to pedestrian traffic, but the Central Mass did build this bridge, and it goes right over the Ware River, and again it's the town line between Hardwick and Ware, and the county line between Hampshire and Worcester counties. So this will be it from Gilbertville, and now we're going to move on to Ware.